YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. And I know it has been like 2 or 3 months since I posted a video. So it's a lot that's been going on, and I'll be catching you guys up, taking NCLEX twice. Let's get into it. So I have taken NCLEX twice. My first time taking the test, I failed. And I don't know, that time when I took it the first time, I felt so much pressure. I had done told like family members, friends, like people, I had done told a lot of people about me getting ready to take NCLEX, and that's not something I would really do, because I don't like for a lot of pressure to be on me, especially when it comes to taking like these kind of standardized tests. So I felt so much pressure, like, you know, they're gonna ask like, oh, you know, how'd the test go, did you pass, how'd you feel about it, you know, ask a lot of questions after it's done and everything like that. Or they'll be like, oh, did you take your test yet, da 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 da. I don't, you know what I'm saying. And after I went into the test, and you know how you're taking it and you're thinking like, oh, 75. Then when you go past 75, you're like, really? So when I got to 75, I already had prepared myself. Like, I already had mentally prepared myself, like, okay, it's not gonna stop at 75. But let me tell you, when I was at 200, because I took the entire test, okay? So and the thing was, I had prayed, and when I prayed, I was like, I don't care, Lord, if I have to take the whole test, just please let me pass. And let me tell you, taking that whole test is no joke. I was drained, okay? I can honestly say I was drained from that test. And then after the test, I went out to my car and I did the Pearson View trick, you know. And what you do is you go on and you try to register for another test, and if it tries to process your payment, you try to register for another test, and you change like your credit card's expiration date so that it won't actually go through. And what you do is once you do that and you submit it, it will tell you your process has been, your payment has been denied. That means that they tried to process your payment. And if it says that your payment was denied, that's supposed to mean, with the trick, that's supposed to mean that you failed. Now, if it tells you that you already have a test scheduled, that's supposed to mean that it won't let you try to process it because you have passed already and they have your test on record or whatever. So the first time I got the bad pop-up, it said your payment was denied. And let me tell you, I cried so hard, y'all. The ugliest little cry possible. Like, when I tell you, my chin was like, it was like quivering. It was like I could barely see when I was on the way home and stuff. Like, I was crying so hard. And then you know, I stopped crying. You know, I was just like, you know, you're just gonna have to take it again. You have to do better. You got this. You're smart. You know, I had to give myself a little pep talk a little trash to myself, you know, because I talk trash all the time. But I had to talk trash to myself and, you know, be like, well, you didn't prepare like you're supposed to, and you just got to do better. Don't cry. Don't be a baby. That's the kind of pep talks I give myself. So, you know, I called my mom. I told my mom or whatever, and I gave myself that one day to sulk, honestly. That one day I sulked, I went to sleep. Then I was just like, okay, now I gotta just prepare for the next one. Woo! Excuse me, guys. So I was like, okay, I have to prepare for the next test. How's this spray like? So I was like, I gotta prepare for this next test. So I let it go, and I prepared for the next test, and I did some ATI. I did their, like, they have this like NCLEX like class or something that you can do, and I did not finish the entire thing, but I did do a good bit of the questions, and tried to review and everything like that. And I already had planned my test date, and I didn't get it all the ATI done in time before my test date, and something just told me, you know, don't change your test date, just go in there and do the best that you can. So I went in there. This time I did not tell anybody until like a day or two before my test, and I told my mom and one other person. I went in there, took my test, passed. Well, I went in there and took my test. I felt more relaxed. You know, that morning I had to drive like an hour. The first time I took the test, I took it at like 2 p.m. and I was doing questions before the exam. I did questions the night before. This time I took my exam at 8 o'clock in the morning. I had to work the day before my exam, so I did not do any questions that day. I went home, I relaxed, got on YouTube, social media, had a cup of wine, and I just relaxed. Set my alarm, made sure I had enough rest. I got up that morning, drove the hour away to the testing site. I was a little bit more relieved. I guess my mom wasn't up before I went in there to my exam, so I didn't have any text messages. I didn't text or call her to get any good lucks or anything like that, because I just didn't want the extra pressure or anything. I listened to my music, went there, went into the test, and I just did the best that I could, honestly. And it's crazy because the second time I took every last question again. I took every last question again. So, but this time, after my test, you know, I was like, okay, it felt a little bit better. And when I got home, you know, my mom was like, when I was talking to her on the phone, you know, she was like, well, I still want to know, because I had decided that I was gonna just wait till the 2 days, because I didn't want to, I had worked that Wednesday and Thursday, and I didn't want to be like sad or anything. So I didn't want to be sad at work, so I was like, I'll just wait till Thursday after I get off work, and then I have a weekend off. I was like, so I just said that I was gonna wait. But what ended up happening was my mom was like, well, I want to know, I won't tell you. I said, okay, well, if I let you do the trick, you can't tell me if I pass or if I fail. You can't tell me at all. So I told her what to do. I told her what it means, like as far as if it's declined or if it is if it's declined, or if it is if it says the whole you already have an exam scheduled. So I let her do it. I hung up with her after we almost got to the last step before she submitted. I went ahead and hung up with her, and then probably like 10-15 minutes later, I called her. You know, she's like, why are you calling me back? I was just like, I'm just calling to talk to you or whatever. Really deep down, really deep down, I was trying to look at her facial expressions to see if she was like sad or if she was really excited, you know, so I could try to like read off of her and see if what results she got. So she was like, when I called her or whatever, she was like, let me call you back, I'll call you back or whatever. She texted me after we got the phone, and she sends me a screenshot, and she's like, is this what you mean? Is this what you're talking about? And it says, and it's the pop-up that says that you already have an exam scheduled. I felt a little bit of relief, you know. It's still the unofficial, like, that's not even the unofficial. It's still like just the trick. It's not the unofficial or nothing like that. So I was like, okay, I'm excited. So it is a different pop-up than before, you know, since I got the one that says the payment was declined the first time. So yeah, so I was excited or whatever, but I didn't tell anybody. Only my mom and me knew. I didn't say anything. I was like, I'm going to wait till Thursday or whatever. So Thursday morning, you know, I kept checking. Maybe they're going to put it a little early, my quick results. So I kept checking or whatever. And I went ahead and checked the BON. And there it was. License. Daquina Renee Moore, RN. Okay. So, yes. So yeah, so that happened, and I didn't have to pay for my quick results because that was already up there. And so after I did that or whatever, I went in there and you know, I texted my mom and everything, and I went into our little nurses station area, and I was just like, you know, it was like my supervisor was in there, and the other nurses that were on that day were there and everything. And I was just like, I guess you guys can call me RN now. And because they didn't know, like, nobody knew when I took my test. So they were just like, they were just so like excited for me, you know. And that's a great feeling, because in my job, like, everybody's very supportive. Like, when I didn't pass the first time, you know, they were quick to, like, you know, don't worry about it, you know, that doesn't determine whether you're going to be a good nurse or not. 3 other nurses that I know of that talk to me, they're like great nurses, and they were quick to like say, like, I didn't pass my first time, and I like to think of myself as a good nurse, and they are really good nurses. So that made me feel better, you know, that they were so supportive and everything. And that's another reason why I love my job, because throughout the whole process of me preparing to retake my test, everybody was so supportive. It was like, you got this, we ain't worried, you gonna pass, like, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I am, but deep down I'm like, I'm scared, you know. And so that's just like, I absolutely love my job. Like, they are very supportive. And so yeah, so I passed. It was hard because I took the entire test again, but I felt a lot better that time. Okay, failing NCLEX, like, it was a hard thing for me, but you can't quit. You got to pick up and keep going, you know, keep going and do the best that you can in whatever you do. Sometimes you're gonna fail at things, you know. Only thing you can do is get back up and try again. And that's what I did. I didn't, you know, soak in it too much, because I know that, you know, I know I am smart. I know I worked hard for this. I feel like God didn't bring me this far, you know, to just leave me stranded, dry and high. So I prayed about it, you know, and I know God put me on this earth to be a great nurse. I love the nursing field, the fact that you can help people, make a difference. And, you know, so you guys that have failed NCLEX, if you're watching this video, you failed NCLEX or you're about to take NCLEX, you know what I'm saying, do the best that you can. Stay as calm as possible. I know it's hard because it's a very important test, but just try to breathe, relax, and do the best that you can, and you'll get it. But, you know, I will be updating you guys on my job, what I'm doing now, what I've been up to, moving wise, and everything like that. If you guys have any questions, just leave it below in a comment, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.